How does a company worth $100 billion simply disappear? Not slowly, not quietly, but in plain sight while the whole world watched. Today we find out. The year is 1995. The internet is brand new. Most people don't even know what a search engine is. And two Stanford PhD students, Jerry Yang and David Philo, are about to change that forever. They called it Yahoo, short for yet another hierarchically organized oracle. A simple directory, a guide to the wild west of the web, and people loved it. By 1996, Yahoo went public. By 1999, the stock had exploded 59%. At its peak, Yahoo was worth $125 billion, more than Ford, more than Boeing, more than companies that had existed for a century. If you don't want to miss stories like this, subscribe to The Big Move right now. It was the front door to the internet. 700 million people visited every single month. Yahoo wasn't just a website, it was the internet. So what went wrong? Everything. But not all at once. This was a slow-motion collapse built from bad decisions, missed opportunities, and a company that kept choosing comfort over courage. The billion-dollar mistake. Let's go back to the year 2000. The dot-com bubble has burst. Billions of dollars in tech value have just evaporated overnight. And Yahoo is sitting on a decision that will haunt it forever. A small startup approaches Yahoo with an offer: sell us your search technology or let us build yours. The price, just $1 million. Yahoo passes that startup, Google. But here's the part that makes it even more painful. In 2002, Yahoo had another chance. CEO Terry Semel sat across from Larry Page. Google was willing to sell for $3 billion. Semel thought that was too expensive. Today, Google is worth over $2 trillion. I want to ask you something right now, and I mean it. Drop your answer in the comments below. If you were Terry Semel in that room in 2002, would you have paid $3 billion for Google? Think about it. Because this single decision is what most people point to as the moment Yahoo sealed its own fate. I'll pin the best answer. But missing Google wasn't just bad luck. It revealed something much deeper about Yahoo's leadership. They didn't understand what business they were actually in. Yahoo thought it was a media company, a portal, a place to keep people browsing. Google understood something more powerful. Be the starting point for every search on Earth, and you own the internet's attention. One company sold ads, the other built the future. Only one of them won. Pattern interrupt, but wait, because here's what nobody talks about. Yahoo didn't just miss Google. In 2006, they had the chance to buy a tiny social network for $1.1 billion. The founders turned them down. That platform was Facebook. And a year later, Yahoo walked away from another deal, this time for a video site burning cash and full of copyright problems. That site, YouTube. Three of the biggest companies in internet history. Yahoo was in the room for all three and walked away from all three. At some point, that's not bad luck. That's a pattern. The leadership crisis by 2007, the cracks were visible to everyone except apparently Yahoo's board. Terry Semel had turned Yahoo into something unrecognizable, a bloated, slow-moving media empire trying to compete with companies that were faster, leaner, and hungrier. Engineers were leaving. Morale was collapsing. And Google, the company Yahoo had refused to buy, was now eating them alive in search advertising. In 2008, Microsoft came knocking. Steve Ballmer offered $44.6 billion, a 62% premium over Yahoo's stock price. It was the most generous rescue package Silicon Valley had ever seen. Yahoo's board rejected it. They thought they were worth more. They were not. Within 18 months of rejecting that offer, Yahoo's stock had dropped 90%. The $44 billion lifeline had expired. And the company that was once worth $125 billion was now scrambling to stay relevant. Was this pure arrogance, or was Yahoo's board right to believe in their own value? The comments are already divided on this. Tell me what you think. Then came the CEO carousel. Between 2007 and 2012, Yahoo went through five different CEOs, each one arriving with promises of transformation, each one leaving with Yahoo worse than they found it. The board hired Carol Bartz, a veteran tech executive known for her blunt style, and fired her by phone. Then Scott Thompson was forced out after just 4 months when it was discovered he'd falsified his academic credentials on his resume. And through all of it, Yahoo kept drifting, no clear strategy, no consistent vision, no sense of what it actually wanted to be. The last chance in 2012, the board made one more bet. They hired Marissa Mayer, a former Google executive, a product visionary, someone who seemed to understand the internet at its core. The press called it a miracle hire. Yahoo's stock jumped 2% on the announcement alone. Mayer spent 5 years and over $3 billion acquiring companies, more than 50 of them. She rebuilt the mobile app. She redesigned the logo. She turned Yahoo into a media company with real content. But none of it moved the needle on the thing that mattered most: revenue. Yahoo's advertising business was in freefall. Google and Facebook had locked up the digital ad market between them. Yahoo was fighting for scraps. The most valuable thing Yahoo owned wasn't its search engine or its news platform or its email. It was a 15% stake in Alibaba, the Chinese e-commerce giant worth tens of billions of dollars. Yahoo had become a holding company that happened to run a website. In 2016, Verizon bought Yahoo's core internet business for just $4.8 billion. The same company that had once turned down $44 billion. The company that had passed on Google for $1 million. The empire was over. Here's the brutal truth about Yahoo's collapse. It wasn't one mistake. It was a decade of the same mistake, repeated, compounded, and never learned from. Yahoo had the traffic. It had the talent. It had the resources. At multiple points in its history, it had the opportunity to buy the very companies that eventually destroyed it. But every time the future knocked on the door, Yahoo looked at the price tag and flinched. Google for $3 billion, Facebook for $1.1 billion, Microsoft's offer of $44.6 billion. 3 chances to survive. 3 times they said no. Not because they lacked intelligence, but because they lacked clarity about what they were building, and where the world was heading. The lesson of Yahoo isn't about bad luck or missed timing. It's about the danger of comfort. When you're at the top, change feels like a risk. The status quo feels safe. The billion-dollar deal feels overpriced. The hungry startup knocking at your door feels like a distraction. Yahoo was once the internet, and they got so focused on protecting what they had, they never noticed who was coming to take it. Every great company starts with a mission. Yahoo's was to guide the world to the internet. But somewhere along the way, they forgot the mission and started chasing the money instead. I want to know, have you ever seen a company make a comeback from a fall this big? Think of any brand, any industry. Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Agar ap nahi chat ki AC or shocking business stories Miss Ho Jane, To abhai the big move ko subscribe car lane. Surf ek click. Because the company that quietly won from Yahoo's collapse, the one that inherited its users, its ad revenue, and its moment in history, that story is even more shocking than this one. If you don't want to miss stories like this, subscribe to The Big Move right now.